Welcome to Halo Headlines.
Spartans to Halo Headlines for the week of August 22nd to August 29th, part of Podcast Evolved, your home for Halo. I am your host, Krista, and with me today is Oren.
Hello! Hi, Krista.
Hey, Oren, how's it going?
It's going well. We have a release date, which we're about to talk about.
What? That's kind of crazy. I can't believe it. It's August and we have a release date? I didn't expect it to happen that soon, but before we get into that, we would like to give a quick shout out and thank all of our patrons for their continued support to make this show possible. Thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you guys.
If you are interested in becoming a patron, head over to patreon.com/HaloPodcastEvolved to learn more about the exclusive rewards we offer to our patrons. And with that, let's get into the juicy Halo news. Oren, what is this release date?
Yes, so Gamescom was this past week, so we're going to talk about everything that was announced and shown at Gamescom, and the big news everyone's talking about is the release date. So drum roll please, editor. December 8th, 2021. So it's coming out this year. It's coming out in December. We already talked about some features that won't be available at launch. But yeah, it's happening, everyone. We're super stoked, of course. We've talked about our release schedule a little bit. You know, the team's going to be just pushing out stuff, getting ready for the release date. We'll share anything that we hear. And now it's just, the train you could say the train has now left the station and it's arriving to our doorsteps. And along the way, they're just going to continually give us more information. They have a lot of still to talk about in terms of campaign and what's going to be in the box, so to speak. So it's a good time to be a Halo fan. Everyone jump on that hype train. You can pre-order the game on Steam and on Windows 10 and on the Xbox Store if you want to purchase it. If you're a Games Pass subscriber, you don't need to purchase it because you'll already have it on day one and you can pre-install it today. Also, what I want to mention that I just thought about is that to celebrate the announcement of the release date, if you have a Series X, you can go to your motion... What's it called? What's the wallpaper? The moving wallpaper?
Dynamic background.
Dynamic backgrounds. Yes. If you go into those, I had the original Xbox dynamic background up since I got my Series X, but there is a Halo Infinite one that you can set up now. And I'm a little disappointed because all of the tiles and shit just block like almost everything. So it's almost like, why even have a dynamic background?
I know, that's what everyone's complaining about.
And it's just like, big sigh.
Everyone's complaining about how cluttered the UI is. But it is gorgeous.
It's very, very beautiful. So you can, if you have a Series X, you can head over there right now while you're listening and set it and apply it. But back to Gamescom. So not only do we get a release date, we also got some hardware news. There's going to be a limited edition Series 2 Elite controller that is designed after the Master Chief and his helmet. So you can try to pre-order it now. I think as of recording, it's already sold out. There might be another drop, so keep your ears to the ground. There's a fancy cool trailer on the YouTubes. It's green, it's gold, it has a sort of part for the Cortana chip that you could put in the back. You can't really put it in the back, but it looks as if you could, so that's really cool. I personally didn't want to get it because it's a lot of money and I didn't want to play the shit out of it. I'd probably want to put it on a pedestal, and that's kind of a lot of money to put on a pedestal. Krista, I think you have similar sentiments.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I actually had just gotten Elite 2, so just combined with the fact that I already got one, with the fact that I usually hang on to controllers for a pretty long period of time, and they end up getting a bit beat up because they do get used quite a bit. I don't want to ruin a limited edition controller, and I just can't justify a $200 book stand.
I got the Halo 5 limited edition controllers, the Lock and the Master Chief one, and I think they're great. I actually used both of them for a good while, like maybe 2 or 3 years. But there was a point where I was like, I think I should just not really play these anymore, and I kind of just want to go put them on a bookshelf. That's where they are, and it's great, and it's fine, because now I have the Series X and its controllers, so it's perfect. Speaking of the Series X, Krista, not only did we get a limited edition Series 2 controller, there is a limited edition Halo Infinite themed Series X console that comes with a controller that matches, and it is beautiful. It's black. It's so pretty. It's like gray. It has these kind of sparkling lights, some fancy accents on it with some gold trim. I think the colored heat sink vent, instead of it being green, I think it's like Cortana blue or something like that.
It's really cool. It's so cool.
Is this the first official Series X limited edition console, or has there been another one?
Yes, it is.
I think it is.
It's just this one.
That too, sadly, is also sold out.
It sold out so quick. I actually had it. I had it in my shopping cart, and I was about to press the button to check out, and it was sold out. I was like, really?
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was like, it lasted maybe like 30 seconds. It was gone. It was crazy. So if they do come out with more pre-orders, I might be tempted, but the fact is I already have a Series X, so I mean it would just be, $550 for something I already have, but with a cool paint job.
I might be tempted to get it, and if I get it, then I might give my Series X to like my dad or someone.
I mean, they're hard enough to find. You can either sell it or find someone who wants one.
Yeah, so tempted. It looks stylish. But we'll see. Listeners, if you have either pre-ordered and you want to share that you have them, add us on Twitter or share us an unboxing when it comes out this November. But it's super cool, celebrating 20 years of Halo. It's hard to I don't know if anyone expected this. It was always, I think, lingering in the back of people's minds of if there was a console to do a limited edition for, Halo Infinite seemed like a no-brainer, but it was so quiet, and with the release date being so close and they hadn't said anything, it kind of came out of nowhere, even though it was kind of expected to some degree, or it wasn't surprising, but it was surprising at the same time. So it was cool. It was a good moment. But again, these videos are on the Xbox channel, YouTube channel, so you can check those out. They're pretty cool. Speaking of videos, part of all of these announcements is 343 showcased the multiplayer Season 1 intro cinematic that shows the origins of Spartan Commander Agrina, and it kind of flips time between her as a teenager traveling future 25, 50 something London and sneaking around, but then cutting back to her as a Spartan commander training the next generation of Spartans at the Avery Johnson Academy. It's great. It flip-flops between the two times, and you learn just a little bit about Agrina's backstory, and I thought it was really awesome. Krista?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I thought everything looked amazing. Everything looked fantastic, and I think it was really well done. I think it was a really entertaining cinematic that gave you a good insight into what's going on, and some little background. So I'm excited to see what they do next with all of these multiplayer cinematics. If we're going to get more, is it going to be a regular thing, or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how it's going to evolve over time. I'm getting a little bit of Spartan Ops vibes in terms of a cinematic video that has an overarching story, hopefully, handled better than the Spartan Ops mission design, but that's a whole nother conversation that we've talked about before. But yeah, no, I can't wait to learn more about Spartan Agrina and see what, how she fits into the narrative. The multiplayer Spartan that the player plays is canon. That was announced. So it's interesting to see how, what story they're going to tell that the player then can be a part of. So that kind of, can't wait to learn more about that. There is a little bit of controversy over this video, I will say, over when exactly it takes place. Some people are thinking it might take place closer to the present, where the brutes in the video, they're banished forces. But then it kind of begs the question, when does the multiplayer take place? Is all that in the future technically, to after the Cortana event and whatever happens in Infinite's campaign? Or does this video take place in the Battle of Earth? A little bit more when the Covenant was still kind of crumbling and Master Chief is in Africa, but there's some assets from the games that are used. So I don't know. We'll talk in depth more about this in our live news episode with the community. But that was kind of a point of contention that the community have, kind of figuring out where they kind of stood on it. But all in all, I think it's an amazing video. I can't wait to learn more, and I think it really got me excited about the story involved, and the storytelling involved with the multiplayer side of Halo Infinite. Can't wait to learn more about that. Finally, we have the Halo Infinite release date blog announcement, which is just Start Your Spartan's Journey on December 8th. It recaps most of what we said. It also talks a little bit about the development update that we reported on last week. I think there's some links to the videos and other announcements and such. So if you want kind of a one-stop shop for the detailed information in the videos, just check out Halo Waypoint. I also wanted to mention that there is a new Inside Infinite blog post. Again, we talk about this in detail in our next live our monthly news show that was live. It talks about the development team for the bots. It talks about the learnings that the multiplayer team did. It talks a little bit about the battle pass and what to expect on the next flight, and kind of again just gives a lot of those deep dive developer insights. So it's a big read. Sit back. Pretty interesting here and there. And then, of course, we have a good story from Joseph Staten at the end. We are going to get campaign news, and we're going to see campaign again before release. And we just have to be a little bit more patient. They're in shutdown mode. They're polishing bugs and making sure that the game can be as good as it can be. So that's basically it. Like I said, the big news from Gamescom were these fancy trailers, the hardware, and of course the release date. So it's a good time to be excited, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we ready to take it home?
I think so.
All right, let's go home then.
Let's go home, Krista.
Yeah, nice little bite-sized piece of what's going on. Thank you for listening, and join us next week for the next Halo Headlines episode. If you enjoyed this episode and are unaware, please check out our awesome website, halopodcastevolved.com. It features our episode library for all of our different Halo shows, which are Podcast Evolved, Mission Debrief, Halo Book Club, and Builds with Blocks. Also listen to our partners Will and Josh over at HCS Pro Talk for your competitive Halo news. And once again, another special shout out, very special, to all of our patrons for supporting this show and making all of this possible. Head to patreon.com/HaloPodcastEvolved to learn more. And with that, I have been your host, Krista, and until next time, evolve!
Evolve!